There is a strange kind of peace I have found from not needing to explain myself to anyone. Now, my relationship with the world has always been complicated. There's a part of me that longs to belong, to connect deeply, to laugh with people, to feel safe in the presence of others. But there's another part there, a quieter part, that's always looking for the exit. Now, over time, I've leaned into that quieter part. Not because I gave up on people, but because I need to stop giving up on myself. I didn't want to keep molding myself to fit into spaces that didn't feel good to be in. I care for myself. The more solitary, the more friendless, the more unstained I am, the more I will respect myself. That is actually a quote from a Charlotte Bronte. So I've walked alone. I've stepped away from the noise, not out of fear, but for preservation. Now, my name is Christopher Howell, and this is my resolute path. When I say that I've chosen solitude, I don't mean I hate people. I mean I've seen too much to keep pretending that connection is always worth the cost. I've spent so much of my life trying to be agreeable, trying to ignore the things that gnawed at my spirit. But every time I overlooked a selfish act, every time I stayed silent when someone disrespected the space we all share, I chipped away at my own sanity. Now, I see things. The abandoned shopping carts strewn all over the parking lot. The weights left unracked at the gym. The loud music blaring from someone's phones with zero regard to anyone around them. And maybe those seem like small things to most. But for me, they're symbols. Symbols of people acting like no one else exists. What's harder is how often I've been punished for pointing it out. In the workplace, in shared spaces, the second I voice frustration, I become the problem. So I've learned to swallow it, or better yet, avoid it entirely. And I don't hate the world. I just feel like the world no longer values integrity. And when it does, it hides it so well, I can barely find it. It is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. Now, that is a quote from Jiddu, not even going to try to pronounce his last name. And that quote really stays with me because for so long I tried to adjust and it almost broke me. The longer I've stayed alone, the more I've begun to understand what I need, not just what I've been told I should want. Now, I need space. Space to breathe, to grieve, to unlearn. Space to remember what it feels like to be calm without waiting for the next insult to my boundaries. Out here, I don't have to brace myself. I don't have to flinch. I don't have to play nice. I just have to be. Now, sometimes I just need to be alone so I can breathe without asking for permission. I've made peace with that. I've stopped apologizing for needing time, silence, and control over my own environment. And that peace, quite frankly, it's sacred to me. It's where I've rebuilt pieces of myself that I didn't even know had crumbled. But here's the truth I'm just beginning to face. I've gotten so good at spotting the bad that I've forgotten how to make room for the good. I can spot selfishness from a mile away. I can sense arrogance, manipulation, and entitlement like a radar. But kindness, it still catches me off guard. I realize I was expecting people to fail before they even had a chance to show me otherwise. I've let negativity become a survival tool. And for a while, it's worked. It kept me alert, prepared, guarded. But it also kept me from joy. When I shift my focus from what's wrong to what's right, I feel lighter, stronger, more alive. That is from Brené Brown. And that quote made me pause a little bit. I started trying to notice the good. Not force it, not fake it, just notice it. The person who let me merge into traffic with a wave. The kid who laughed like the world hadn't broken his spirit yet. The stranger who returned something I dropped. I've realized that the world hasn't run out of good. I just stopped looking for it. That's on me. I don't want to blind myself to what's broken. I need to be aware, to be smart, to stay safe. But I also don't want to live in a prison built by bitterness. I want to let wonder back in. I want to soften my gaze. I want to trust myself enough to step into the world without flinching. Now, there's a difference between protecting my peace and closing my heart. I've started asking myself, am I isolating because I need to recharge or because I'm afraid? Am I stepping back to heal or to avoid growth? Am I focusing on the negative because it's honest or because it's easier? These aren't fun questions, but they're necessary. What I focus on expands. What I dwell on shapes me. That's from Tony Robbins. If that's true, and I believe it is, then it's time I took control of that focus. I don't want to be defined by what frustrates me. I want to be shaped by what uplifts me. I want to build a life based on values I believe in, not just reactions to what I can't stand. So I'll keep writing, I'll keep seeking, but I won't let the bad steal my ability to feel joy. Not anymore. I've walked alone, I've pulled back, I've focused inward, and I'm grateful I did. But I'm also ready not to give up what grounds me, but to add to it. I want to grow past bitterness. I want to challenge the way I see. I want to live from a place of quiet strength, not loud defensiveness. I want to protect my peace without shutting out love. This is still my path. It's not always easy, and it's definitely not perfect, but it's honest and it's mine. Please like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell so you know when my next episode drops. I love you all, and as always, keep it shiny.